And welcome back. This is part 3 of making a 2D platform game. In this tutorial we're going to cover how to move objects and actors over the pathing system. For this, let's go ahead and add a path in here. Well, first of all, let's add something to move around. Go into item mode and select the cloud and make sure you're on layer 1. Let's go ahead and place one of the clouds here and go to layer 2 and place another one round about there. Placing isn't necessarily, doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be exact on this. Is just an example. Alright, let's go ahead and add a path into this for these to follow. Go add and path, and there you see it added the first point to the pathing system there. Let's go ahead and adjust that point to where we want it. And now to add a second point to the path, go over here and hit the add tool. Once add selected, you can go ahead and place each point that you want to continue off of the path. So for example, we'll click here and you see it has a second point, and let's just go ahead and click around about there and put its next point in. Okay, go back to the pointer mode, and from there you can adjust each one of the points to where you want them. You can put them on the grid snap if you want them to follow the grid system course. For this we don't necessarily need that. Okay, let's go over here to the path properties and let's go ahead and give it a name. For this I'm just going to go path cloud. Could. And we're going to want to go ahead and give it a speed option here. Let's go ahead and select the speed, and you can see down here its description on it. The speed option is used by non-actor objects that don't have their own speed setting. Basically, for instance, like that cloud, it's not going to have its own speed setting. So we're going to want to set how fast it moves each frame. We could put in 1, and the cloud is going to move quite rapidly on that. I'll show you an example of that. And let's see, for this we don't want any of the collision or the redirect on. That's not going to be applied for that one. Alright, go back into the items mode and go to layer 1 and select that first cloud we put down. You can see it automatically named it cloud 0. That's fine. They're just clouds. They don't need real specific names. But here on the artificial intelligence section, you can see where it says path. It's basically the only artificial intelligence option for a non-actor object. Go and select it, and you can then select the path for that. We'll go ahead and select the path cloud that we created there. And now she's assigned to that path. And let's go ahead and we'll run this, and I'll show you how the cloud does move quite rapidly at 1. I mean, you're talking one movement every frame and 30 frames per second roundabouts. So anyways, let's go ahead and start this up and show you what that looks like. Okay, and we'll hit play there to launch it up. And now we're in that system, and as you can see, that cloud is moving around quite rapidly now. Like I said, we're gonna want to go back into it, and we'll readjust its speed for it to move more realistic. Let's go back into that, and we'll go to that path that we created. Select that path, and let's readjust that speed setting into a slower setting. We'll set it to 1/10 there, and that could be any decimal, 100,000, anywhere out there, to get your speed just right. Alright, let's go ahead and rebuild that and show you how it does move more realistic now. Spacebar to skip. And now you can see, if you watch real carefully, the cloud is moving. Takes a second to be able to see it move. It could be, of course, be slower, but I think this looks definitely more realistic. And also, when the clouds start merging together, it gives you your different cloud shapes and everything like that. As you can see, it's coming into where we put that second cloud on the other layer, and I did that so they would blend just right. Okay, let's go ahead and close that out. And we're going to go ahead and do one just for the actor here. Let's come in, and once again the same way we did the other one. Let's go ahead and go to the actor mode. We have the pre-made cockroach in this template. Let's go ahead and select him and place him down about here. Let's go ahead and select him. I just put him into the ground. Oh, never mind. Delete that out. Make sure you're in layer 2, the same layer as the player. That's very important, or you're never going to actually meet collision with them. And select him and then place him down there. I'm going to want to adjust him a little bit here. I'm going to use the zoom up, which is the scroll on the mouse if anybody needs to know, or also down here you can select each zoom, and also on top of that you can go to view, and here you can start zooming in and out, using the arrow keys of course to move around. But this does come in handy. I prefer to use the mouse wheel, of course, if you have that middle button on there that'll roll for you. Let's go over main, and I'm going to show you how the collision here, it isn't exactly on the grid there. It's a little off to make everything look realistic. So let's go to collision, and there you can see where the actual collision does end. It's not a full box like I'm placing over right there. It's a partial. So that's kind of what I was getting at. We're gonna put the actor down more into the grass to make him look realistic. So I'll go back to the actor mode. Go ahead and select on him, and just remember around about where that is. It doesn't have to be 100%. Remember, we are zoomed up on top of it. And let's go ahead and place him there. I'm going to go back to normal zoom now. Let's go view. If you prefer to stay in zoom, it doesn't matter. You can of course use the scroll to readjust around, but we're going to go back to actual pixels 1:1. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and add a path for this guy to follow. So first of all, just the same way you did the other one, just go add path, put that into there, and go ahead and add the second one into it here, just like so. Alright, let's go ahead and give this path a name. For this one we'll go path actor. Of course you can name yours with anything you please. Path actor 1, there could be multiple of these. Alright, and sometimes it helps if you usually add color to these. Sometimes it can become hard to see which one is which when it's over crossing each other. So we'll go ahead and give this one a color. Let's see how brown works there. There we go. It's similar to the color of the cockroach itself. Let's go back to actor mode. We want this to be really on precision here. We don't want the cockroach to be flying up to adjust the path. So basically select him, and what you're going to want to do is here where it says location, you're going to want to see what the Y property says, which in this case his Y property is at 805. Now we'll go to the path mode, and basically we want each one of these nodes to be at 805 for it to be exact, which isn't exactly the easiest thing to be able to view if you were trying to move this around here. So for this, you're going to want to go into the collection of the points, come over to here, click on it, and you'll see a little button with 3 dots on it. Go ahead and click that, and now you can see each one of the points and where it's at. We're going to want to set the Y exactly to 805 to keep the guy from trying to fly up into the air, unless that is what you're going for. Anyways, 805 and 805 on that. Okay, and just hit OK then, and as you can see, it adjusted the points to where they need to be. We don't need the speed setting on this because the actor has his own speed built into him. So redirect on collision. I'm going to go ahead and say false on that, and it's not actually necessary in this case to use collision. That'd be if there was a box in the way. You could set him to bounce it off, and he would redirect back to the other node. In this case, there's nothing in the way, so there's no reason to turn that on. Go ahead and save the memory, not run that process. Go back to the actor mode. And he's on layer 2, of course. Make sure you're on that or you're not going to be able to select him. And go ahead and select him by clicking on him. Now we're going to go into his artificial intelligence selection. As you can see, there's quite a bit more artificial intelligence with the actor, of course. That's why they're actors and not items, is because you have more of these options. Different attack things. In this case, all we're going to use is the path. Once again, he's already preset to be hostile. He has all his collision boxes built in. Go ahead and select that path. Path actor 1 is the one we built for him. Okay, and let's go ahead and test this. Make sure he moves around the path and everything, and show you kind of how his collision works on it for the hop and bop mode. Okay, as you can see, the cloud is still moving around there. And our cockroach is running around like crazy. Oh, there he goes. Okay, he has 2 types of collision boxes. One on the bottom of them is basically set to hit the player. That's showing that you did not jump onto his back, and which will, of course, take one of your lives there. The other one, of course, is on his back, and that's what gives you the hop and bop feature. You jump on his back, it basically is hitting a different collision box with a different set script, and that's set to smash him into a different state. But as you can see, there he goes, and we went ahead and squished him. And that's it for this tutorial. In the next tutorial, I plan on showing you guys how to wrap up into a next level script. It's basically a pretty easy script that you'll be making out. It will be included in later tutorials, but for the moment, until it's included, basically I'm going to show you how to script that out. You can make it any way you want, and then how to link it into a level script and have that go to the next map. This could be done many different ways. In RPG, you would use a simple zone event, but in this case, we want some kind of mid-screen event, much like the classics. You had different things, card matching, things that count down your timer and turn them into points, things like that. And I hope to have that out here soon, and thank you very much. Have a nice night.